Hello, my friend. Can you lose everything and still win? Today you will meet someone who did exactly that. His name was Rafe. He was 22 years old when life took everything from him. He had nothing. No money, no home, no future. But in his pocket there was one last coin. Just one. This is the story of how that single coin changed his entire life. This is the story of hope, hard work, and the power of never giving up. Are you ready? Let's begin. Rafe opened his eyes and saw the gray morning sky. He was lying on a bench in the city park. His body was cold and his stomach was empty. Yesterday, he lost his job at the old bakery. Mr. Grimm, the owner, closed the shop forever. The building was too old, and there was no money to fix it. Rafe worked there for 3 years. He learned everything about making bread. He loved the smell of fresh dough in the morning. He loved seeing people smile when they ate his pastries. But now, it was all gone. Rafe sat up slowly and put his hand in his pocket. He felt one coin. It was his last coin. He looked at it for a long time. This coin could buy him one small bread or one cup of coffee. That was all, nothing more. He thought to himself, what will I do now? Will I give up? Will I just disappear? No. Something inside him said no. He stood up and walked through the park. The city was waking up. People were going to work. They looked busy and important. Rafe felt invisible. Nobody saw him. Nobody cared. He walked past a small coffee shop. The owner was opening the door. The man looked tired, but determined. Rafe stopped and watched him. The owner cleaned the windows, arranged the chairs, and turned on the lights. Everything was ready for the customers. Rafe thought, this man works hard, every single day. He does not give up. Maybe I should not give up either. Rafe kept walking until he arrived at the main street. There were many shops and restaurants there. One of them was a big, expensive bakery. The sign said delightful breads. The windows were full of beautiful cakes and pastries. Everything looked perfect and expensive. Rafe pressed his nose against the glass. He remembered when he could make things like this. His chest felt heavy with sadness. Then he saw something that changed everything. On the door, there was a small paper note. It said, baker needed, experience required, apply inside. Rafe's heart started beating faster. This was a chance, maybe his only chance. But there was a problem, a big problem. He looked terrible. His clothes were dirty from sleeping outside. His face was unwashed. His hair was a mess. Nobody would hire him like this. What will Rafe do now? He looked down at his coin again. One coin, one choice, one moment to decide his future. He could buy food and survive one more day, or he could use it differently. There was a public bathroom nearby. It cost one coin to use. Inside there was water and soap. Rafe made his decision. He walked to the bathroom and put his coin in the machine. The door opened with a click. Inside, he washed his face carefully with cold water. He washed his hands until they were clean. He cleaned his clothes as much as possible with wet paper towels. He used the water to fix his hair and make it look neat. When he looked in the mirror, he saw someone different, not perfect, but better. Someone who was trying. Someone who had not given up. Someone who still had hope in his eyes. He left the bathroom with nothing in his pocket. No money, no food, no safety net. But he had something else now. He had determination, burning inside him. Rafe walked back to the bakery with strong steps. He took a deep breath and pushed the door open. A bell rang above his head. Inside, the bakery was warm and bright. The smell of fresh bread filled the air. It reminded him of everything he loved about baking. Behind the counter stood a tall woman with sharp eyes. She looked at Rafe from head to toe. Her face showed nothing. No smile, no welcome, just cold observation. "Excuse me," Rafe said quietly. His voice was shaking a little. "I saw the sign outside. I am looking for work. I am a baker." The woman crossed her arms over her chest. She did not smile or move. Her name, tag said Ms. Thorne. She raised one eyebrow slowly. "A baker?" she said in a cold voice. Where did you work before? At the old bakery on Elm Street, Rafe answered honestly, with Mr. Grimm. I worked there for 3 years. I learned everything from him. Miss Thorne frowned. Her lips became a thin line. That old place, she said. She said it like it was nothing important. Like it was garbage. And why did you leave? The shop closed, Rafe said. He kept his voice steady. Mr. Grimm had no money to continue. The building needed too many repairs. Miss Thorne looked at him carefully for a long moment. The silence felt heavy. Rafe felt his heart pounding in his chest. Then she spoke again. Do you have any references? Any proof you can bake? Any documents or certificates? Rafe felt his hope falling like a stone. He had nothing. No papers. No phone to call anyone. No way to prove anything he said was true. He could see Miss Thorne was already losing interest. Her eyes were moving away from him. But then Rafe thought about the coin, about his choice, about not giving up. He looked at her directly in the eyes. Give me one chance, he said firmly. His voice was stronger now. Let me bake something right now, right here. If it is good, you hire me. If it is bad, I will leave and never come back. You have my word. Miss Thorne stared at him. Nobody had ever said something like this to her before. She was surprised. She saw something in his eyes, something real and honest, something desperate but also strong. She thought for a moment while looking at him. Then she sighed heavily. Fine, she said at last. You have 1 hour. Make something that will impress me. If you fail, you leave immediately. No second chances. Do you understand? Yes, Rafe said. He felt a wave of relief and fear at the same time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Rafe followed Miss Thorne through a door to the kitchen. It was big and clean and organized. Everything was perfect. There were rows of shining ovens and long tables covered with white flour. Other bakers were working silently in their white uniforms. They looked at Rafe with curiosity. Who is this stranger with dirty clothes? Miss Thorne pointed to a table in the corner. You work there, she said. You have basic ingredients. Flour, water, yeast, salt, sugar, butter, eggs. Show me what you can do. Nothing fancy is provided. She looked at her watch. Your time starts now. 1 hour. Not 1 minute more. Rafe stood at the table alone. His hands were shaking. He had not eaten in 2 days. His body felt weak. His head felt light. But he closed his eyes and remembered everything. He remembered Mr. Grimm's kind voice. He remembered the old bakery and its warm ovens. He remembered every lesson he learned over 3 years. Bread is not just food, Mr. Grimm used to say every morning. Bread is life itself. You put your soul into the dough. You put your heart into every loaf. Rafe opened his eyes with new focus. He looked at the ingredients in front of him. What should he make? Something too complicated would take too long. Something too simple might not impress Ms. Thorne at all. Then he remembered his specialty. His secret recipe, honey braid rolls. They were beautiful, delicious, and special. Mr. Grimm taught him the secret technique. It was the one thing he did better than anyone else. Rafe started working. His hands moved with confidence now. The shaking stopped. He measured the flour carefully with his eyes. He mixed the warm water with yeast and watched it bubble. He added a little honey for sweetness and golden color. He kneaded the dough slowly and gently, like it was something precious. The other bakers stopped working. One by one, they turned to watch him. Miss Thorne watched too from the doorway with her arms crossed. Nobody said anything. The only sound was Rafe's hands working the dough. Rafe shaped the dough into long strands with his fingers. Then he braided them together carefully like golden hair. Each roll looked like a small rope made of sunshine. He brushed them with melted butter until they shined. He sprinkled sugar on top like snow. Then he put them in the hot oven. Now he had to wait. This was the hardest part. The kitchen was silent, except for the sound of the ovens humming. Rafe stood very still next to the oven. He felt every second passing slowly. His stomach hurt from hunger. His legs felt weak and shaky, but he did not move. He did not sit down. He did not show his pain to anyone. After 25 long minutes, the timer rang. Rafe opened the oven door carefully. The smell that came out was incredible. Sweet, warm, and absolutely perfect. The rolls were golden brown and shining. They looked like small pieces of art, like something from a painting. Rafe carefully placed them on a white tray. His hands were steady now. He brought them to Miss Thorne. She looked at the rolls without expression. Then she picked one up slowly. It was still warm in her hand. She broke it open. Steam came out like a small cloud. The inside was soft and fluffy and perfect. She took a small bite. Her expression changed completely. For the first time, she looked surprised. Her eyes opened wider. The other bakers came closer. They wanted to try too. The smell was too good to resist. Miss Thorne took another bite, then another. She chewed slowly. "Where did you learn this?" she asked quietly. Her voice was different now. "Softer. From someone who believed in me," Rafe answered simply. "Someone who gave me a chance when I had nothing." Miss Thorne was quiet for a moment. She finished the entire roll. Then she looked at Rafe seriously. "You have talent," she said. "Real talent. I can see that now. But talent is not enough in this world. This bakery opens at 6 every morning. We work hard, very hard, 12-hour days. Can you do that?" "Yes," Rafe said without any hesitation. "I can do anything. I just need one chance. One opportunity to prove myself." "Dreams are not free," Miss Thorne said seriously. "You have to work for them. Every single day. No excuses, no complaints." "I understand," Rafe replied. "I will work harder than anyone." Miss Thorne nodded slowly. "Be here tomorrow at 5:30 in the morning. Do not be late. If you are late even 1 minute, you are finished. Do you understand me?" "Yes," Rafe said. His voice was strong and clear. "Thank you. Thank you so much for this chance." Miss Thorne turned away, but before she left the kitchen, she said one more thing. "There are clean uniforms in the back room. Take one now. And take these rolls with you. You look like you need to eat something." Rafe felt his eyes burning with tears, but he did not cry. He just nodded and said thank you again. That evening, Rafe sat on the same bench in the park, but everything was different now. Everything had changed. He had a job. He had a chance. He had hope burning in his chest. He ate the honey rolls slowly. Each bite tasted like victory, like the future. He thought to himself, "Nothing is free in this world. Everything must be earned with hard work. I will work harder than anyone else. I will prove myself every single day." The next morning, Rafe arrived at the bakery at 5 o'clock. He was 30 minutes early. Miss Thorne was already there preparing things. She looked at him and almost smiled. Just almost. "Good," she said. "You are early. That is good. Let's begin your new life." The first weeks were incredibly hard. Harder than anything Rafe ever experienced. He woke up at 4 every morning in the dark. He worked for 12 hours every day. His hands hurt from kneading. His back hurt from standing. His whole body hurt everywhere. But he never complained. Not once. Not ever. He learned everything he could. He watched the other bakers carefully. He asked questions. He practiced during his breaks. He stayed late to clean. Some of the other bakers were kind to him. They helped him learn. They showed him techniques. But one baker did not like Rafe at all. His name was Crispin. He was the head baker. Crispin had worked there for 10 years. He was jealous of Rafe's natural talent. "Why does everyone like the new guy?" Crispin thought angrily. "I have been here much longer. I deserve the attention." One day, Crispin decided to test Rafe. To break him, he gave him an impossible task. "Make 200 croissants before lunch," Crispin said with a mean smile. "They must be perfect. Every single one. Miss Thorne has a big order. If you fail, you are responsible. You will be fired." Rafe knew this was a trap. 200 perfect croissants in 4 hours was almost impossible, especially for someone still learning the system. But Rafe did not argue. He did not complain. He just said, "I will do my best." I will try my hardest. He worked as fast as he could, rolling the dough, folding it, shaping each croissant. His hands moved like machines that never stopped. But there was a problem, a big problem that Crispin knew about. The oven could only bake 50 croissants at a time, and each batch took 20 minutes. Rafe did the math in his head quickly. He could not finish in time. It was impossible. What will Rafe do? Will he fail this test? Will he lose his job? He looked around the kitchen desperately. Then he had an idea. There were 2 ovens, but only one was being used for croissants. The other was for bread. Rafe quickly found another baker. His name was Felix. Felix was kind and always helpful to everyone. Felix, Rafe said urgently. His voice was shaking. I need your help. Please, can I use part of your oven? I will not disturb your work. I promise. Felix looked at the clock. Then he looked at Rafe. He saw how hard Rafe was trying. He saw the desperation in his eyes. Sure, Felix said with a kind smile. I can share. We are a team here, right? Thank you, Rafe said. His heart was full of gratitude. I will never forget this kindness. Working together with Felix, they managed to bake all the croissants. Rafe finished with only 5 minutes to spare. Every single croissant was perfect, golden, flaky, and absolutely beautiful. When Miss Thorne came to check, she was very impressed. Excellent work, she said. She did not know about Crispin's trap. But Crispin knew. He was angry inside. But he could not say anything because Rafe had succeeded. After work that day, Rafe thanked Felix again. Why did you help me? Rafe asked. You did not have to do that. Felix smiled warmly. Because good people should help each other, he said. Besides, I see how hard you work every day. You deserve success. Nobody should suffer because of someone else's jealousy. Rafe felt grateful and also learned something important that day. Success is not just about working hard alone. It is also about working together with others. It is about helping people and accepting help when you need it. It is about building relationships and trust. Months passed slowly. Rafe became better and better at his work. Customers started asking for his creations, specifically by name. Miss Thorne noticed this very carefully. She gave him more responsibility, more important tasks, but Crispin's jealousy grew worse. Every single day, he started making mistakes on purpose and then blaming Rafe for them. He told other workers false stories about Rafe. He tried to make everyone hate the new baker. He wanted Rafe to fail. One morning, something terrible happened. Something that almost destroyed everything. Miss Thorne's most important customer was coming to visit. His name was Mr. Sterling. He owned 5 fancy restaurants all across the city. If he liked the bakery, he would order from them every single week. It was a huge opportunity for the business. Miss Thorne asked Rafe to make something very special for this meeting. Create your absolute best pastry, she said seriously. Mr. Sterling will be here at exactly noon. This is very important for our bakery. This is our future. Rafe worked carefully all morning on a special creation. Chocolate passion towers. They had layers of dark chocolate, sweet cream, and fresh berries. Each tower was decorated with delicate gold leaf. They looked like small masterpieces, like pieces of art. Rafe finished at 11:30. He was very proud of his work. He put the towers carefully in the cooling room to keep them fresh and perfect. Then he went to clean his workstation. But when he returned at 11:55, his heart completely stopped. The towers were destroyed. All of them. Every single one. They were knocked over and crushed on the floor. Chocolate was everywhere. Cream was smeared on the walls. Berries were crushed into the ground. It was a complete disaster. Rafe felt like someone punched him hard in the stomach. No, he whispered. His voice was breaking. No, no, no. This cannot be happening. Ms. Thorne came into the room. She saw the terrible disaster. Her face went white like paper. Then it turned red with anger. What happened here? She shouted. Her voice was shaking. Who did this terrible thing? I do not know, Rafe said. His whole body was shaking. I left them here safely. Someone must have knocked them over. Someone destroyed them on purpose. Miss Thorne looked at the clock on the wall. Mr. Sterling will be here in 5 minutes. 5 minutes? This is completely unacceptable. This is your fault. You are responsible. But I did not do this, Rafe started to say. His voice was desperate. I would never. I do not want excuses, Miss Thorne said angrily. She cut him off. You are responsible for your work. This is a catastrophe. We will lose this contract because of you. Rafe felt everything falling apart around him. All his hard work over months, all his hope for the future. Everything was being destroyed in one moment. Just then, Felix walked into the room. He had seen something important. He looked nervous, but he spoke up bravely. Miss Thorne, he said quietly but clearly, I saw Crispin near the cooling room. 30 minutes ago, he was alone there. Nobody else was around. Everyone in the room turned to look at Crispin. Crispin's face went bright red immediately. That is a lie, he said quickly. His voice was too loud. Why would I do something like that? I have no reason. Because you are jealous of Rafe, Felix said firmly. His voice was stronger now. Everyone here knows it. You have been trying to hurt Rafe for months. We all see it. Is this true? Miss Thorne asked Crispin. Her voice was now cold as ice. Did you destroy these pastries? Crispin opened his mouth to speak. Then he closed it again. He could not look at anyone. He looked down at the floor. The truth was completely obvious to everyone. Miss Thorne's face became like stone. Hard and cold. Crispin, leave this bakery right now. You are fired. Collect your things immediately and go. Do not come back ever. Crispin looked shocked and pale. But I have worked here for 10 years. Now, Miss Thorne said. Her voice left no room for argument. Leave now, or I will call security. Crispin left the kitchen silently with his head down. Nobody said goodbye to him. The kitchen was completely quiet. Everyone was in shock. Miss Thorne looked at Rafe with different eyes now. My tired searching. I apologize, she said quietly. I should not have blamed you immediately without knowing the facts. I was wrong. But now we have a much bigger problem. Mr. Sterling will be here in 3 minutes. Only 3 minutes. What will we do now? Rafe felt his heart pounding like a drum. He looked at the clock. 3 minutes. It seemed completely impossible. But then he remembered something. He remembered his journey. He remembered the coin. He remembered everything he learned. Dreams are not free. You have to work for them. You have to fight even when it seems impossible. Give me 2 minutes, Rafe said suddenly. His voice was strong. I have an idea. Please trust me. He ran quickly to his station. He grabbed fresh strawberries, sweet cream, and crispy pastry sheets. His hands moved faster than they ever moved before, faster than light. He created something simple, but absolutely elegant. Strawberry cream nests. They were small pastry cups, filled with fresh whipped cream and bright red berries. He topped each one with a fresh mint leaf for color. They were not as fancy or complicated as the towers, but they were beautiful and fresh and honest. He finished with exactly 30 seconds to spare, just as Mr. Sterling walked through the front door. Miss Thorne greeted him nervously. Her hands were shaking slightly. She brought him to the special tasting table. Rafe presented the nests on a white plate. His heart was beating so fast. Mr. Sterling looked at them carefully. He studied them. He picked one up gently and took a small bite. Everyone in the kitchen held their breath. The room was completely silent. Then Mr. Sterling smiled widely. Delicious, he said with pleasure. Simple, fresh, and absolutely perfect. This is exactly what my customers want in my restaurants. Not too complicated or fancy. Just real quality and honest flavor. Who made these wonderful creations? Rafe did, Miss Thorne said. She looked at Rafe with new respect in her eyes. Our talented young baker. Mr. Sterling walked over and shook Rafe's hand firmly. Young man, you have real talent. True talent. I want to order from this bakery every single week. But I have one important condition. I want this young baker here to be personally in charge of all my orders. Miss Thorne nodded immediately. Of course, Mr. Sterling. That can absolutely be arranged. After Mr. Sterling left the bakery, Miss Thorne looked at Rafe for a long time. You saved us today, she said quietly. Her voice was soft now. You have proven something very important. Not just that you can bake well, but that you can handle terrible pressure. That you never give up, even when everything falls apart around you. That is rare. Thank you for believing in me, Rafe said simply. Miss Thorne made an important decision right there. From this day forward, you are the head baker of this bakery. You will lead the entire morning team. You will create all new recipes, and you will earn twice your current salary. This is effective immediately. Rafe felt dizzy and light. Head baker? Just 8 months ago, he had absolutely nothing. He was sleeping on a park bench. He had only 1 coin in his pocket. Now he had a real position, a real future, a real life. He thought about everything he learned on this journey. He learned that hard work truly matters. He learned that giving up is easy, but fighting is always worth it. He learned that nothing worth having comes easy. He learned that people who help you are precious treasures. And he learned that one small choice can change absolutely everything. 1 year later, something amazing happened. Rafe stood in front of a new building. The sign above the door said Rafe's Fresh Start Bakery in golden letters. It was his own place, his own business, his own dream. After saving every penny and working incredibly hard, he finally opened his own bakery. But it was not a normal bakery like others. Rafe had a very special rule. Every single morning, he gave free bread to anyone who needed it. People without money, people without homes, people without hope, people exactly like he used to be. And he always kept one special table in the corner. Anyone could sit there for free all day, have a coffee, rest their tired bodies, feel human again, feel worthy. One cold morning, a young person walked slowly into his bakery. They looked tired and completely lost. They had dirty clothes and very sad eyes, no hope in their face. Rafe recognized that look immediately. He had seen it in the mirror once. He walked over with a warm, genuine smile. Welcome to my bakery, he said gently. Please, let me bring you something good. The young person looked surprised and confused. I do not have any money, they said quietly with shame. That is perfectly okay, Rafe said kindly. Today, breakfast is my gift to you. No payment needed. He brought fresh warm bread, creamy butter, and hot coffee. The young person ate very slowly. Tears started running down their face. Thank you so much, they whispered. You do not know what this means to me. Actually, Rafe said, sitting down across from them, I know exactly what it means. I have been where you are. He reached into his pocket slowly. He pulled out a small coin. It was his last coin from that day, the one from the park bench. He kept it all this time, as a reminder. He showed it to the young person carefully. 2 years ago, he said, this coin was all I had in the entire world. One single coin. I was exactly where you are sitting now. No money, no home, no hope for tomorrow. But I made a choice that changed everything. The young person looked at the coin, then looked at Rafe with wide eyes. What happened to you? They asked. How did you get here? I used this one coin to clean myself up in a public bathroom, Rafe explained. Then I walked into a bakery and asked for just one chance. I worked harder than I ever worked in my entire life. I failed many times. People tried to stop me and hurt me. Everything fell apart more than once. But I never gave up. Not ever. Rafe looked at the young person very carefully. I am telling you this true story because I want you to know something important. Your situation right now does not decide your future. Your choices decide your future. Dreams are not free. You have to work for them. Every single day, without excuses. The young person listened very carefully to every word. Rafe continued, speaking from his heart. If you want, I have a job here for you. It is very hard work. You will be tired every day. Your body will hurt. But I will teach you everything I know. and I will give you a real chance. Just like someone once gave me a chance when I had nothing. The young person started crying harder. Really? They asked with disbelief. You would really do that for me? A complete stranger. Really, Rafe said with certainty. He handed them a clean napkin. Everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone deserves hope. The young person wiped their tears away. Thank you, they said with emotion. I will work so incredibly hard. I promise you, I will not let you down, ever. I know you will not, Rafe said with a smile, because you are hungry for a better life. That hunger is more powerful than anything else in this world. Rafe stood up and put his coin back in his pocket. Every single morning, he touched it before starting work. It reminded him where he came from. It reminded him to never give up. It reminded him to always help others. 3 years after that terrible day in the park, Rafe had 3 successful bakeries across the city. He employed 20 good people. Many of them were people just like him, people who desperately needed a second chance at life. He taught them everything, not just baking skills, but also hope, also determination, also kindness, also dignity. One afternoon, Miss Thorne visited his main bakery. She looked around at everything he had built. All the happy customers, all the busy workers, all the success. I am so proud of you, she said with emotion. When you walked into my bakery that day, I almost said no. I almost turned you away. But I saw something special in your eyes. What did you see? Rafe asked with curiosity. Hunger, she said simply. Not for food, but for life itself. For a future, for meaning. That kind of hunger cannot be stopped by anything. Rafe smiled at the memory. You gave me a chance when nobody else would. You taught me that dreams are not free, that you have to work for them every single day. Miss Thorne nodded slowly. And you taught me something valuable too, she said. You taught me that one person can completely change their whole life with one decision. You taught me that it is never too late to start again. You taught me about real courage. They stood together in comfortable silence. They watched the busy bakery. Every table was full of people. People were laughing and eating and talking. The smell of fresh bread filled the warm air. Rafe thought back to that cold morning in the park, lying on a hard bench, cold, hungry, alone, hopeless, with just one single coin. If someone had told him then what his life would become, he would not have believed them. It would have seemed impossible, but it was real. All of it was completely real, because he chose to try one more time, because he chose to work with everything he had, because he chose to never give up on himself. Rafe started with absolutely nothing but a dream in his heart. He worked 12 hours every day for many months. He failed many times. He was knocked down hard. People tried to destroy him, but he always got back up, always. Today, he has 3 successful bakeries. He has a team of people who love and respect him. Aker, he has customers who trust him completely. But more important than that, he found his true purpose in life. He found his place in this world. He found his value as a human being. This story teaches us 3 important lessons that can change your life. 1. Your past does not control your future at all. No matter where you come from or what you lost, you can always start again. Always. 2. Small choices create big changes. 1 coin, 1 decision, 1 moment of courage. That is all it takes to begin a new journey. 3. Success is not just about you. It is about lifting other people up. It is about giving back to the world. It is about sharing your blessings with others. Whatever your dream is, do not stop chasing it today. It does not matter if you have nothing right now. It does not matter if people doubt you or laugh at you. It does not matter how many times you fall down hard. What matters is that you stand up one more time. What matters is that you take one more step forward. What matters is that you never stop trying, never stop believing. Remember what Rafe learned through his journey. Nothing in life is free. Everything must be earned with hard work and dedication. But if you are willing to work, if you are willing to fight, If you are willing to believe in yourself when nobody else does, then anything is absolutely possible. Anything at all. So take your first step today, right now. Make your choice. Use your one coin wisely, and never, ever give up on your dreams. Not ever. If this story inspired you, if it gave you hope, if it reminded you of your own inner strength, then please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to English Waypoint for more stories that will motivate you and teach you English at the same time. Remember, every single expert was once a beginner. Every success story started with one small step. Your story is waiting to be written. So pick up the pen and begin today. Thank you for listening, my friend. Now go out there and create your own miracle. I believe in you with all my heart.